And hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making a nice big train station. I love train stations, they're really easy to make, just as long as you have some throwback containers and patterns for train track. That's all you really need, that's all you need. So I am going to include the codes that I used for my train station here. I'm just going to add like the two main ones that you need, which are the train tracks and the patterns that you put along the train tracks. You can substitute any of the other ones that I use in this video because I'm going to be using a white brick for kind of like the platform areas. If you're interested in using those patterns, I did include the codes in another video for my most recent island tour, so I'll include a card somewhere. And then I know I used a custom pattern again for another, like, almost like a destination board kind of thing. And for the simple pattern, the simple panels here, all you have to do is when you go to the Able Sisters is just make a black pattern and just put it on the simple panel to make this little tunnel piece here. But yeah, for the destination board, I included that one as well in the island tour. So yeah, I'll just include a card somewhere, and then if you want to flip through it, you can if you're interested. But if anyone is interested in what I've been doing in these last few weeks or so, where I haven't been posting more Animal Crossing content, I have been diligently working on my internship. And boy, let me tell you, I am currently working on what will most likely be a 40,000 word document. It's over 80 something pages. Currently, I'm not done yet. I'm working on that later today on a Sunday, mind you. I can't even look at it anymore. I cannot look at it anymore. I'm at that point where, you know, when you've been working on something for so long and you just have to step away from it for a bit. That's me right now. And the only way that I could take a break is by actually going to the job that I'm employed at. That's pretty sad when you find a break or a vacation being going to work. But that's where I'm at in my life, guys. That's where I'm at in my life. And I recently finally got my full driver's license, which is exciting. And because of COVID, there was a massive, massive backlog. How much of a backlog are you thinking? Let's just say my test was at 12:01. I left the house, because you have to be there half hour early, just after 11. And I didn't come back home until about 4:30. Like, it was effing nuts. And if you guys want to hear about my story at the DMV, sit back and take a little listen and watch me build a little train station. So, initially I get there. It's freezing, because I live in Canada. And it's the beginning of December. It's freezing. They have a whole huge lineup, because you can't all walk in. You register to sign in for the test, to say, hey, I'm here, put me in queue for my little test. And as I am struggling to punch in all my information to this, it looks like utterly abused touchscreen computer, a man walks in with a little man bun and starts yelling. Like, he just barged in, like he bursted past security, barges into the DMV, and just starts yelling about how he has been waiting for over an hour and how he demands that someone take the test with him. He just wants his license, he wants to go home, he's had enough of the day. Little did I know that that would be foreshadowing my time. So I get the heck out of there before little man bun man loses it with all the employees. I skedaddle back to my car and I wait for the driving instructor. This took about 2.5 hours or so for someone to come to my window. But by this time, I was so nervous that I had actually not eaten before I left, and the hunger was setting in. The hunger, the dehydration, just utter depravity at this point. But my mother came with me, because I didn't know how long I would be. And God bless her soul. She went to the local Shoppers Drug Mart and got food and came back to the parking space, because you can't move your car, right? Because you punch in when you sign in where you're parked. So there, I was stuck there. I couldn't go anywhere. So she came back, got me some food. We were eating, enjoying. Finally got some, hydration in me before I turned to jerky before my test. And you know what? As soon as my mom takes down like her mask to take a drink or something. Oh no, I shit you not. The driving test person comes around the corner, sees my mom without a mask, and says, "You're gonna have to wait a little bit more. I'm gonna be in that car with very little space in between us, and you just took off your mask, and I can't be in that car. You're gonna have to roll down the windows, let it air out, and you're gonna have to wait even longer." So at this point, I've already waited well over 2 hours, and I have to wait even longer for someone to let me have my test because my mom took her mask off for a sec to go take a drink. But this is the confusing part. Because when you go in, they say, yeah, you can have someone in the car with you when you take the test, which I've never seen before, but you can have someone else in the car with you. Like, what? But they need to be wearing a mask. So I was under the impression that if me, the person testing me, and say my mom, even though I wouldn't want her there, and was in the car with me, she'd have to be wearing a mask as well, which is understandable. But no, they meant in general. So, my ass rolls down all the windows. I begin to wait outside in the freezing cold for another about hour and a half before the next driving instructor or driving testing person comes. And by this point, the skin on my hands, because I have very sensitive skin, the skin on my hands has utterly dried and flaked away off my phalanges to the point where my fingers start bleeding so profusely. I don't have any band-aids. All I had were masks in my car. So I bled through 2 masks. My hands were burning from the cold, so irritated. I have 2 autoimmune diseases that give me really bad time regulating temperature, and it was not a good time overall. So by the time the guy comes to test me, he sees my bloody ass hand and is like, "Oh, let me go get you a Band-Aid." So before I even start the test, the guy has to go get me a Band-Aid. I'm bleeding everywhere. He's trying to put it on me, and it's just a disaster. It was a sticky, awful disaster. Anywho, we're on the road, blah blah blah. I do my test, blah blah blah, and he makes me turn down the side street before we enter a service road to go enter onto the highway, and he just makes me stop because there was someone in front of me. It looked like a driving instructor for a regular driving ed school in my city. And they were parallel parking. So I wait behind them and I go to pull over to the side of the road because I don't want to be, waiting in the middle of the flipping road waiting for these people to parallel park. I'm going to push off to the side in case there's anyone behind me that needs to get through or whatever. Also, this is a little clip right here. I made a little video for easy ideas for filling in small spaces, and I put in another one of those dogs. I'll put a card to the video if you guys want to see my little inspiration thing for small spaces. But anywho, the guy was just kind of like, no, don't pull behind them. Move up more. And the person's parallel parking, but I'm still sitting in the middle of the flipping road because this guy, I'm just like, well, I'm failing because I'm sitting in the middle of the road, but the guy kind of told me to. I am so conflicted. I am sweating. I'm ready to have a stroke. So then he makes me pull up beside the car after they parallel park. And the dude just rolls down the window and he's yelling at the person, roll down the window, roll down the window. And it's a student just trying to parallel park. They roll down the window. They take down their mask, which I don't get why. I don't get why they had to pull down their mask. You're in a car with someone, just keep the mask on. Anywho, the guy who is doing the test with me starts yelling at the driving instructor that's doing with this poor girl just trying to parallel park, saying, I'm going to report you. You're not supposed to be practicing driving on ministry roads. I'm in the middle of a test right now. You know these are the rules. You know that this is a ministry route. I'm reporting your vehicle and everything. I got your license plate and all that jazz. And I'm like, I'm literally sitting there while the dude's just kind of telling this driving instructor what's up. And the driving instructor's like, oh, I didn't know. He's like, of course you know. And then he just kind of he's like, I'm reporting you. And he just rolls up the window and tells me, keep going. And I'm like, okay, we're going. In the middle of my driving test, just had to pull over so the ministry driving and test guy had to grill a driving instructor because apparently you can't be driving on Ministry roads during test times, which was absolutely me of all people would have a scenario like this happen to them. Honestly. But yeah, long story short, I passed. Yeah, which is pretty cool because I did my middle license twice because I was too horrified to drive on the highway because of two awful experiences in my life where I was never the driver. But there were two instances in my life where I almost got killed by a casino bus and a transport truck all in one go. It was awful. And the thing is, though, is that I live by a lot of casinos, so the casino buses have like this rule where they guarantee you to be from like Toronto all the way to Niagara Falls within like an hour, which is insane. So, and there's no speed, like actual regulations on these buses, so they're flying down the highway at like 130. They're veering in and out of traffic. Long story short, the guy that I was in the car with did not make a good decision around this casino bus thing, and it went to go make a lane change that we were already in the lane, but we couldn't move over because there was a transport truck and it got sandwiched. It was awful. I was sweating profusely. I probably lost like 3 pounds in sweat. But yeah, you know what? I overcame my various traumas in my life. I got my full license, which is funny because I bought a car before I even, had my full license. Also, this little tree dress, side note, cute. You can put that anywhere and it'll be like little trees everywhere. Fantastic, right? But yeah, that was, yeah, I did my, it's called like a G2 here. I did my G2 twice. That's how many times I've had that license. I never failed a driving test in my life, but I was just so horrified of like being on the highway that, I risked it. I did it twice, and it was a running joke in my one friend's family that I was never going to get my license, but ooh, they were the first people I messaged. I was like, tell everyone in your family right now that I did it. So proud of myself. I hope you enjoyed my story. This is the end of the video. Hope you liked the tutorial. If you like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!